This is Brandon with Elite Paintless Dent Repair. I'm sitting here with a customer of ours, John, that we actually have this scenario play out quite a bit, and I wanted to discuss it so people actually understood what was going on. With all the hail that happened last year in the springs, a lot of people kind of put off getting their vehicle fixed because it was too busy, it was inconvenient, and any shop in town was really booked out for quite some time. Things have kind of slowed down a little bit, so we're dealing with a lot of customers that are still dealing with last year's hail. And one of the most common scenarios that approaches us or that we deal with is that the insurance company came out to somebody's home, they looked at their vehicle out at their home in the sunlight, and when they did that, they took and put an estimate together to leave with a customer. In this particular case, in John's scenario, his insurance company, we won't say which one it is, but his insurance company came out and inspected at his house. When they did the original inspection, which when insurance companies inspected somebody's home, they know that there's no way they could do a proper estimate. They know that. Plus, their business kind of revolves around people just taking the money, not fixing the vehicle, and just moving on. Well, let me explain how much that costs and how big of a problem that is. So when they originally looked at his vehicle at his home, they came up with $2,246 was the estimate. Now, John, like most people, was busy last year, didn't get it fixed. This year, he saw one of our advertisements, called and just had some questions about our process, and I explained to him that when an adjuster comes to a home, they really, first of all, don't have the proper tools because they can't control lighting to see all the dents. And they know until it gets to a shop, there's really no reason to give a true estimate on the vehicle. Now, when his vehicle got here to the shop, we did an estimate on the vehicle. Keep in mind, his was $2,246. Our estimate came out to $8,508. Now, as a paintless dent repair facility, we know that there's always some negotiation we have to do with the insurance company. Unfortunately, this industry is not state regulated like a body shop, so there is no real set pricing for it. But at the end of the day, the insurance company did come in and see that there was difference in pricing, and the total amount of difference was $4,007.85. So instead of his claim being $2,200, it came out to $6,253. Now that's a pretty big discrepancy, and I would like to say that that's not a common instance, but it happens all the time. Every customer consistently, we see these kind of differences in what goes on. So when John called us, he obviously had some apprehensions because explaining that to somebody, you would think your insurance company would try to write a correct estimate at the house. Being 3 times the expense of what they originally wrote the estimate for to what they finally settled for plays out time and time again. Now, here's the problem with that. Now, if John would have just accepted that money and said, I can live with the dents and not fixed his vehicle, he would have the insurance company would have kept $4,000 and his vehicle would not be repaired. Now, not only does the insurance company keep that $4,000 if he didn't go through this process, but if he ever tried to trade that vehicle in or resell it, or let's say he gets in an accident that's not even his fault, somebody rear ends him and his car totals, the insurance company for the other person that hit him who is at fault will write a hail claim, and they're going to be way more accurate than the first guy that wrote it out at home. And he's going to deduct that from the amount of the total if his vehicle would have totaled. So some things to think about when you got going on. Now, John, when you first started looking at this whole process, you had a lot of concerns, right?
I was cautious.
Yeah. It sounds kind of too good to be true, right? It sounds like something that there's no way that the insurance company missed that significant of a number on it.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
No. What I'd like to do now is kind of go look at the vehicle and see, that it's all finished up. We'll show some before pictures just to kind of show what it looked like before we got a hold of it so that we could show what the difference is. But if we walk outside real quick with John, we'll take a look at it and see what's going on. Yeah.